Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a massive municipal mystery, and it all comes straight from a seriously data-heavy report on property tax reform submitted to the 4th State Finance Commission of Karnataka. Now, I know what you're thinking. Tax reform. Sounds dry. But actually, scratch that, because this isn't just a story about spreadsheets. It's a fascinating look at a booming modern metropolis, vanishing wealth, and the digital tools that could completely turn things around. So, picture this. How does one of the absolute fastest-growing urban areas on the planet, Bengaluru, have this massive, constantly expanding real estate market, yet somehow have incredibly empty municipal bank accounts? The local government is out there trying to provide basic infrastructure, sanitation, everyday services, but they are constantly starved for cash. So where is the money going? Or I guess a better question is, why isn't it coming in to begin with? Well, the answer really starts to take shape with this completely wild statistic. According to the Economic Survey of India from 2016 to 2017, Bengaluru collects a shockingly low 5 to 20% of its actual potential property tax. Let that sink in. That means up to 95% of the potential revenue, money that could literally be transforming the city's infrastructure, is just being left on the table.
Look at the sheer physical scale of the metropolis here, juxtaposed against that tiny collection rate. When researchers mapped out the urban built-up extent using satellite data, they saw this massive, dense web of concrete. I mean, the visual evidence from space completely contradicts the financial reality down on the ground. The buildings are sitting right there, under the satellites, but the tax revenue? Poof, gone. To put the sheer scale of this loss into perspective, the 13th Finance Commission estimated that if compliance hit just 80 to 85%, current property tax collections across similar cities could leap from 4,400 crore to an absolutely massive 22,000 crore rupees. We're talking about multiplying the city's resources five-fold just by enforcing the rules and properly valuing things. Imagine what your city could build with 5 times its current budget.
So, let's talk about this leaky bucket of systemic failures. Where exactly is all this money leaking out? Well, first up, the data is just really bad. On one hand, the 2011 census showed well over 30 lakh households in Bangalore. But then, if you look at the official property tax net, it only includes a little over 10 lakh properties. Less than half of the properties that actually exist in reality are showing up in the municipal tax records. And hey, you can't tax a building if your system doesn't even know it's there, right?
But the leaks get even worse when you look internally. The Comptroller and Auditor General found these mind-boggling sums in unreconciled bank differences. Just as one example, in a single audit of 15 central bank accounts, there was a discrepancy of nearly 160 crore rupees between the city's accounts and the actual bank statements. And the absolute craziest part? Nobody did anything. No immediate action was taken. It literally just sat there.
And instead of plugging these holes, the local bureaucracy is actually getting worse at collecting year over year. The local municipal body, the BBMP, saw its collection efficiency drop from 76% in 2011 and 12 down to a dismal 53% in 2013-14. It recovered just a tiny bit to 62% the next year, but the trend is clear. They keep missing targets, and the gap between what's demanded and what's actually collected is just widening.
Now, this brings us to a ticking clock of legal loopholes.
The poor data is bad enough, but what pushes this into a full-blown taxpayer crisis is a legal ticking clock built right into the system. Under Section 143 of the Karnataka Municipal Corporations Act, uncollected taxes become permanently time-barred after 6 years. Let me repeat that, because it's absolutely crucial. If the city doesn't assess and recover a defaulted property tax within 6 years, the money simply disappears, forever. The defaulter gets off entirely scot-free.
And we are definitely not just talking about small residential homes here. The data shows massive commercial defaults. For instance, just 10 specific high-value commercial properties that didn't pay represented a permanent loss of at least 15.7 crore rupees if the city didn't act in time. Looking back at 2008, 4,188 properties missed payments, meaning over 26 crore rupees were permanently lost just because the time limit expired. It's almost unbelievable.
Okay, but what about the honest taxpayer? Let's look at the incredibly frustrating citizen experience.
You might be sitting there thinking, well, surely people are just dodging taxes, but what happens when you actually try to pay? The system actively punishes honest citizens. Get this, the official government tax portal literally carries this absurd disclaimer. BMP is not responsible for any double or excess payments. Yep, so if their buggy software charges your bank account twice, the official policy is just total denial of responsibility.
And that's not just a hypothetical. The data log showed citizens like S.R. Shaker were charged not once, not twice, but 3 times for the exact same property in this same year, all because of portal glitches. And because of that, not our problem disclaimer, trying to get a refund becomes a total bureaucratic nightmare. Reports showed up to 6,000 similar cases were just sitting there, pending. Talk about a perfect way to completely destroy civic trust.
So how do we solve this? Let's explore the fix: tech and transparency.
Thankfully, the report doesn't just point out the problems. It proposes a really comprehensive, tech-driven solution to fix this broken machine. The hero of this story is called the Citizen First Framework. It's a strategy completely focused on rebuilding trust, which is pretty much the only way you get people to voluntarily comply with taxes. It stands for Financial Improvements, ICT for Good Governance, Redressal of Grievances, SDGs Implementation, and Travel Commute Monitoring. The basic idea? If people actually see their tax money fixing potholes and picking up trash, they'll gladly pay up.
But you need the right tools to do that, right? Enter the GPMS Transportal. This is a cloud-based, mobile-enabled platform that crushes data silos. It pulls together legacy data, GIS mapping, and a digital property register, and then uses data analytics to instantly flag tax defaulters. No more manual guesswork. Officials can see evasions in real time. The World Bank actually notes that systems like this can double or even quadruple municipal revenues just by finally tracking the data properly.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. The digital tools to cross-reference data, hold officials accountable, stop that legal ticking clock, and save literal billions of dollars, they exist right now, today. We have the satellite maps, we have the big data analytics. So what is actually stopping our booming cities from using them? Is it a lack of resources or just a lack of will? Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. And hey, keep asking those tough questions about where your municipal dollars are really going.